You think she doesn't like you because she's quiet, because she's not blowing up your phone, because she's acting a little cold. But what if that silence isn't rejection? What if it's control? What if every pause, every look away, every delayed response is a test, one written in the oldest language of human psychology: power and restraint? Welcome to Invisible Power, the channel where perception meets reality, where what you think is indifference may actually be attraction, carefully hidden under layers of instinct, fear and subconscious defense, and where we uncover the truth that most people are too blind or too afraid to see. A woman who likes you but tries not to show it isn't lying to you. She's protecting herself, because attraction is one of the few forces in life that can strip away our armor and expose everything we try to hide: our insecurities, our desires, our illusions of control. So instead of surrendering to that vulnerability, she masks it. She replaces warmth with distance, openness with calculation, and in that contrast lies the secret of female psychology that few men ever truly understand. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." You imagine she's cold because she doesn't feel the same way, but the reality is often the opposite. She feels too much, too soon, and it terrifies her. So she creates distance, not to reject you, but to protect herself from the depth of her own emotions. She convinces herself that staying detached equals staying safe, and this illusion of control becomes her temporary refuge from a psychological perspective. This is called emotional displacement, a defense mechanism. Studied by minds like Paul Ekman and Daniel Kahneman, it's the mind's way of redirecting emotion from one channel to another. Instead of expressing affection, she diverts that energy into withdrawal. Instead of confessing interest, she hides behind indifference. But every human signal, no matter how subtle, leaks the truth. Her pupils dilate when she looks at you. Her breathing changes when you're near. Her words might stay neutral, but her body whispers what her pride refuses to admit. You see, attraction and fear often share the same physiological roots: the trembling, the racing heart, the focus of attention. These are the same reactions whether we face danger or desire, and in her subconscious, the two often merge. Love feels dangerous, because to love means to lose control. And control, as Niccolò Machiavelli wrote, is the currency of all power. To surrender control, even emotionally, feels like surrendering identity. That's why some of the most confident, intelligent women will mask interest behind an almost stoic composure. It's not that they don't feel, it's that they feel too much. The Stoics taught us that mastery of self is the highest form of strength, but they also warned that repression, when misunderstood, can become a silent poison. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If a woman's thoughts are consumed by fear of being hurt, she will project coldness even when her soul burns for connection. That's not manipulation, it's survival. Her behavior is the armor forged from past disappointments, heartbreaks, betrayals. Each silent glance is a scar healed. Each delayed text a memory of pain not yet forgotten. Yet beneath that silence, attraction flickers like a flame she tries to smother. You notice it when she remembers small details you mentioned once, when she positions herself near you without seeming to, when her tone softens for just a second before she catches herself and rebuilds her mask. Those are not coincidences. They are cracks in the armor. And as Robert Greene would say, power is always in the balance of concealment and revelation. She conceals her desire to maintain power, yet in doing so, reveals the very fear that betrays her, strength. Understanding this doesn't mean chasing her harder or forcing her to admit. It means recognizing the dance of psychology beneath the surface. It means learning to see what others ignore. The quiet microexpressions, the subtle shifts in tone, the fleeting gaze that lingers a little too long. That's the essence of dark psychology. Not manipulation, but perception, the power to read reality beneath illusion. And the man who can see through those illusions commands a different kind of presence, calm, observant, grounded. Seneca said, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior," and in this invisible war of attraction and control, the one who masters his emotions wins. If you react to her distance with neediness, you lose power. If you mirror her composure with calm confidence, you change the dynamic. Because silence, when embraced rather than feared, becomes magnetic. It communicates self-sufficiency. And that is the language every high-value woman understands. So remember, when she seems distant, she might not be rejecting you, she might be waiting to see if you'll chase her validation or remain unshaken in your own. That's the first test, the test of emotional gravity. She wants to know if your presence is strong enough to pull her in, even when she resists. Because attraction that endures is not born from words, it's born from unspoken tension, from the invisible current between two minds, both fighting for control. In the world of dark psychology, this isn't cruelty, it's instinct. The human psyche seeks equilibrium between desire and defense, between vulnerability and power. Every woman, no matter how emotionally intelligent, will oscillate between those poles when she feels something real. And if you can understand that, if you can remain aware instead of reactive, you rise above the average man who only sees surface behavior. You step into awareness, into quiet strength, into invisible power. That's what this channel is about. Not manipulation, not games, but the mastery of perception, emotion and human nature. Because once you learn to see what others hide, even love becomes a language you can read fluently. The quiet woman who conceals her feelings is not a mystery to solve. She's a mirror reflecting something much deeper about human behavior itself. To understand her, you must go beyond the surface, past her silence, and into the psychology that shapes every subtle decision she makes. Because attraction is rarely expressed in words. It's encrypted in behavior, hidden in small, nearly invisible gestures that reveal the truth only to those patient enough to see it. When a woman likes you but tries not to show it, so she enters a state of cognitive dissonance. Two conflicting truths live inside her. She desires connection, but fears exposure. This conflict triggers emotional tension. According to Daniel Kahneman, the mind's priority is not truth, it's comfort, so she resolves the discomfort by building stories in her head. He's just a friend. I'm not really into him, I'm too busy for this. These are not lies, they are emotional bandages. She's not deceiving you. She's deceiving herself to restore a sense of control. From the outside, her actions look inconsistent. She gives you attention, then withdraws it. She opens up, then goes cold. She laughs at your jokes, then avoids eye contact. But every one of these shifts is a tactical move of the subconscious, a push and pull dynamic rooted in attachment psychology. The avoidant mind seeks safety in distance, while the anxious heart longs for closeness. And the paradox is this: the moment she feels something real, her instinct tells her to retreat. Robert Greene wrote, "The essence of seduction is to make the other person feel safe in surrender." That's the key. If you react to her coldness with insecurity, you confirm her fear that opening up leads to chaos. But if you respond with calm presence, if you remain composed when she tests your resolve, you shift the psychological power. Because true dominance in attraction doesn't come from aggression, it comes from emotional stability. It's the ability to hold space for her confusion without losing yourself inside it. Let's go deeper. Every cold behavior hides a micro-signal of truth. She might ignore your message but still watch your stories. She may avoid conversation but remembers details no one else noticed. She might act disinterested, but her body betrays her. Feet pointed toward you, her tone softens, her breathing synchronizes with yours. These are instinctive leaks of emotional alignment. As Paul Ekman discovered, humans cannot fully suppress microexpressions. Emotion always escapes. Through a flicker of the eyes, a change in vocal rhythm, a subtle tilt of the head. The trained mind reads these signs like a map, but reading signs is not enough to protect yourself and to move with strength in the world of attraction. You must understand the strategies of emotional manipulation that appear when vulnerability and fear collide. Some women, consciously or not, use intermittent reinforcement, a behavioral pattern identified by B.F. Skinner. It's when positive attention is given inconsistently, keeping the recipient uncertain and hooked. She texts you warmly one day, ignores you the next, she praises you, then goes distant. This unpredictability triggers a dopamine cycle in your brain, the same mechanism that drives addiction. The uncertainty itself becomes intoxicating. It makes you chase clarity, not love. And the more you chase, the more control she gains, not because she's evil, but because her subconscious learned that control equals safety. The antidote? Awareness. Recognize the pattern without reacting to it. The moment you stop seeking validation, you break the psychological loop. You stop playing her game and she feels it. You create emotional scarcity, and in that vacuum, her curiosity grows because women, like all humans, are drawn to what they can't easily define. Your calm detachment becomes power. Your silence becomes gravity. Let's not mistake this for manipulation. Dark psychology, when used consciously, isn't about control. It's about clarity. It's about seeing motives before they see you. Edward Bernays called it the engineering of consent. But the highest form of that engineering is self-mastery. Controlling your own emotions so no one else can. Because in human relationships, the person who controls emotion controls direction. The person who reacts least leads most. Consider a real example. A man notices that every time he grows emotionally available, the woman he likes withdraws. He interprets it as rejection, but through psychological awareness, he realizes it's not rejection, it's resistance born from vulnerability. So instead of chasing, he mirrors her calm, he lets silence speak, and suddenly she begins to reappear, not because of magic, but because his emotional neutrality disarmed her fear. He became a safe container for her uncertainty, and that's more attractive than any words could be. This is where Sun Tzu's philosophy aligns perfectly. He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not will be victorious. In attraction, patience is that prudence. You don't fight emotion with emotion. You let the storm exhaust itself, because attraction isn't built in noise. It's born in silence, in the gaps between actions, in the pauses that amplify tension. To master this, you must practice what psychologists call effective control, the deliberate regulation of your emotional responses. This doesn't mean being cold, it means being unmoved. It means understanding that emotions are data, not directives. When you stop chasing, you start observing, and when you start observing, you gain influence. A woman will always test the strength of your frame, not because she's cruel, but because nature designed her to seek emotional stability in chaos. If you flinch under her silence, she loses trust in your strength. If you stand still, calm and unbothered, she subconsciously feels safe. That safety becomes attraction. And that attraction, once awakened, is far deeper than any superficial charm. Remember what Robert Cialdini taught. Scarcity increases value. When you are too available, you dilute mystery. When you hold your energy with intention, you amplify desire. That's not manipulation. That's behavioral economics applied to human emotion. Every text not sent, every pause before replying, every moment of calm presence becomes an act of psychological leverage, and that leverage, when balanced with authenticity, creates magnetism. But be warned, the same principles that empower you can also destroy you if used without ethics. Dark psychology is a blade. It cuts both ways. If you use perception to exploit, you erode your soul. If you use it to protect your peace, you evolve. The difference lies in intention. Awareness without compassion becomes manipulation. Awareness with compassion becomes mastery. So when you encounter that quiet woman, that calm storm who seems distant but drawn, don't chase her words, read her energy. Don't beg for attention, only hold presence, and above all, don't fear her silence. It's not emptiness. It's communication. She's watching how you respond. Because every woman knows, the man who can stay centered in the face of uncertainty is the man who holds true power. That's the psychology beneath the surface, invisible, complex and ancient. The dance of emotion and control, the battlefield of attraction, where silence speaks louder than words, and those who understand it don't just win affection, they command respect. Understanding attraction on a psychological level is one thing. Living it, embodying it is another. The difference between the man who knows and the man who masters is practice. Because knowledge without discipline is illusion, and the game of invisible power begins in the mind, long before it ever reaches the heart. If you want to master the art of presence, of emotional strength, of reading attraction without losing your center, you must train your mind as the Stoics trained theirs, deliberately, daily, and without excuses. This is where theory becomes transformation. This is where dark psychology becomes self-mastery. The first rule: never seek clarity from chaos. When a woman pulls away, when she goes silent, when her warmth turns to cold, your instinct will scream for answers. You'll want to text, to question, to restore what you think you lost. Don't. This is the test that separates the impulsive from the powerful, because the moment you act from fear, you surrender control. You shift from observer to reactor, from leader to follower, and she feels it instantly. Instead, apply what Marcus Aurelius practiced, the discipline of stillness. In his Meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind and not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's the foundation of emotional dominance. You cannot control her silence, but you can control your interpretation of it. You can choose to see it not as rejection, but as data, information about her state, her defenses, her fears. When you interpret behavior instead of reacting to it, you gain strategic advantage. The second rule: mirror. Don't chase. Psychology calls this emotional pacing. It means matching energy instead of overpowering it. If she withdraws, you don't chase. You withdraw too, but with intention, not as punishment, but as balance, because the subconscious mind responds to equilibrium. When she feels your calm detachment, her nervous system relaxes. She senses safety, not pressure. That's when attraction breathes again. The third rule: practice emotional invisibility. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent. It means concealing your inner storm behind a calm exterior. As Robert Greene wrote in the 48 Laws of Power, never reveal all of your emotions. When you maintain composure while others unravel, you project an aura of control, and that aura to the human psyche is magnetic, because everyone craves stability. When you embody it, you become the anchor in someone else's chaos. That's power, but emotional invisibility must be rooted in truth. Don't fake calm, build it. Here's how. Morning discipline. When you wake, before touching your phone, breathe deeply 5 times. Visualize yourself as an immovable mountain, silent, strong, timeless. Affirm quietly, "Nothing external controls my peace." This is not a cliche. It's psychological conditioning. You're programming your nervous system to associate stillness with strength. Midday awareness. Throughout the day, observe your impulses. Notice when you crave validation from texts, attention, or approval. Instead of indulging, pause, label the feeling. That's my ego seeking reassurance. When you name an emotion, you disarm it. Cognitive behavioral therapists like Daniel Kahneman and B.F. Skinner proved this simple act rewires behavior through awareness. Over time, your need for reaction weakens. You become untouchable. Night reflection before sleep. Write down 3 moments when you stayed calm under emotional tension. Celebrate each one. Then note one time you failed, not with guilt, but curiosity. Ask yourself, what triggered me and why? By doing this, you transform failure into feedback, a loop of evolution. The man who reflects daily becomes dangerous because he learns faster than those who don't. Now let's talk about using psychology ethically, not to manipulate, but to elevate. Dark psychology in its highest form is awareness, not deception. It's learning to see through illusion without becoming part of it. It's using insight to create harmony, not chaos. When you understand why someone hides their feelings, you can respond with patience instead of pressure. You can create space where trust grows naturally, and paradoxically, that makes you more attractive. Let's illustrate this with a real scenario. Imagine a woman you're drawn to. She flirts subtly, then distances herself. She's hot one day, distant the next. The average man would panic. He'd overthink, overtext, overreact. But you, grounded in awareness, do something different. You mirror her energy. You keep your routine, you stay focused on your mission. When she withdraws, you give her space. When she returns, you welcome her warmth, but without losing your frame. You stay balanced, emotionally neutral, but quietly confident. She feels it, and that emotional steadiness begins to melt her resistance, because in a world full of emotional chaos, consistency feels like oxygen. The truth is, women aren't attracted to mystery. They're attracted to depth. Mystery without substance fades, but a man who understands human behavior, who remains calm yet observant, who sees emotion without being consumed by it, that man radiates depth. That man becomes a mirror in which others see their own unhealed parts reflected, and that is why they cannot forget him. Now, if you want to integrate these lessons permanently, build 3 core habits. Emotional journaling. Track your triggers. Every time you feel anxiety in relationships, write the thought, the emotion, and your response. This builds pattern recognition, the foundation of self-awareness. Controlled silence. Practice not responding immediately to emotional situations. Wait 5 minutes, breathe, observe. This rewires impulsive behavior and builds self-control. Focused presence. When you speak, speak slowly. When you listen, listen completely. Presence is persuasion. People trust those who make them feel seen. Halfway through this journey, remember this. If these insights resonate with you, if you feel something shifting inside as you listen, subscribe to Invisible Power, because this isn't just a channel, it's a training ground for the mind, a place where emotion meets strategy, and where self-awareness becomes the ultimate weapon. Every week, we go deeper into psychology, manipulation, attraction, and human behavior, not to exploit others, but to reclaim control over yourself. And once you master that, everything in your life changes. Relationships, confidence, energy, focus, peace. Now, back to your practice. When you next encounter that woman who seems cold, remember, she's not rejecting you. She's revealing her emotional calibration. Your job is not to decode her, it's to remain aligned with yourself, because alignment is magnetism. And when you stay aligned long enough, the right people, the ones capable of depth, will always come closer. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." So train yourself. Every glance, every silence, every moment of uncertainty, use them as weights in the gym of your mind. Lift them, hold them, grow through them, because the ultimate expression of power isn't dominance, it's peace. And when peace meets confidence, the world moves differently around you. That's the paradox of dark psychology. The deeper you understand it, the lighter your spirit becomes, because you stop fearing what others think and start mastering how you respond. And in that mastery, attraction, respect, and influence flow naturally, without games, without force, without losing yourself. You stop chasing connection, you start becoming it. There comes a moment when the noise fades, when you've analyzed every signal, decoded every word, and realized that the real battle was never between you and her. It was between you and your own impatience, between your desire to control and your fear of uncertainty. That is the hidden battlefield of psychology. Not the study of others, but the mastery of the self. You think she's the mystery, but maybe you are, because the one who truly understands his emotions, who can watch them rise like waves and still remain the shore, becomes untouchable. He stops chasing validation because he's already validated by his calm. He stops seeking attention because his silence already commands it. That's the paradox the modern world cannot grasp. Power is not in motion, it's in presence. When she looks at you and sees that you don't need her attention to feel valuable, something inside her shifts. She senses a man who isn't afraid to lose her, and that's precisely what makes her curious, because people are drawn to those who are free from need. Freedom is the highest form of attraction. Robert Greene wrote, "The person who cannot control his words shows that he cannot control himself. But control doesn't mean suppression, it means awareness. When she tests your patience, you don't lash out. You smile inwardly, recognizing the ancient rhythm of attraction. Approach, retreat, repeat. You let her play her part in the dance, but you never lose your rhythm. You understand that love, like war, is strategy guided by emotion. and strategy favors those who remain still when others tremble. If you want to live this truth, practice the discipline of emotional neutrality. When she withdraws, you stay grounded. When she returns, you stay open but composed. You live as if her affection is a privilege, not a necessity, because the moment you need love, you lose leverage. The moment you embody love, you become the source of it, and that difference transforms you. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." Bravery here is not facing external enemies, but confronting internal ones, the urge to control, the hunger for validation, the addiction to approval. To master yourself is to walk through the fire of emotional tests without burning. It's to feel attraction, desire, even rejection, and remain whole. That is the essence of invisible power. Now think deeply. When she's quiet, when she looks away, when she hides behind that mask of composure, what are you really seeing? Not rejection, not disinterest. You're witnessing the reflection of your own ability to stay calm in uncertainty. You're being invited to evolve, to become the kind of man who doesn't need to read her mind because he already understands the human mind. You're being challenged not to react, but to perceive. That's why every interaction is a lesson. Every silence is a teacher. Every emotional test is a mirror showing you how far you've come or how much you've yet to master. The truth is, most people spend their lives chasing connection from others, never realizing that connection begins with self-command. You can't read others clearly until your own thoughts stop screaming. You can't sense subtle attraction until your mind stops seeking certainty. When you quiet your internal chaos, you begin to see reality as it is and raw, unfiltered, true. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. At that level of awareness, you no longer manipulate or control. You influence through energy, through calm authority, through silence that speaks louder than desire. You stop trying to convince and start allowing, because attraction isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by who you become. That's the final secret of dark psychology. It's not about darkness at all. It's about illumination, seeing what others refuse to face, the parts of you that crave control, the fears that disguise themselves as pride, the wounds that hide beneath your need for love. You don't conquer them. You understand them, and understanding is the purest form of power. So here's your challenge. Next time you face silence, when hers or anyone's, don't fill it, sit with it. Feel the discomfort rise, then dissolve. Observe your mind racing for meaning, and choose stillness instead. In that moment, you'll realize the truth. Silence was never the enemy. It was the invitation to meet yourself, and when you meet yourself truly, no rejection, no coldness, no uncertainty will ever break you again. You'll move through life differently, not as someone who begs for love, but as someone who radiates it quietly. Not as someone who reacts, but as someone who observes, adapts, and remains. Because the man who understands the game no longer plays it, he transcends it. That is invisible power. Not dominance, not control, but mastery of perception, the ability to stand still while the world moves, the strength to love without losing yourself, the wisdom to see beyond words, and hear what silence is truly saying. And now, a question to leave lingering in your mind long after this video ends. If power lies in self-mastery and attraction begins in awareness, then what are you still chasing that's already within you? The answer will not come tonight. It will come in your next silence. In the next moment, you choose stillness over reaction, and when it does, you'll feel it, not as a thought but as a shift. That's the moment you'll know you've crossed from seeking power to becoming it.